We're travelling from Europe's most northern capital city to its most southern capital city.
That's 3,900 kilometres, taking us from Iceland, the land of fire and ice, through to the subtropical island of Malta, one of the 10 smallest countries in the world.
Rule number 1, no planes allowed. We have to do this entire trip over land and over sea.
And rule number 2, we have 10 days to complete this challenge because our bosses want us back at work and they won't be happy if we're late.
No way, you're fired.
What could possibly go wrong? Things are not going to plan. It is now snowing.
How's it going?
Not well. All of the trains are basically fully booked.
Just to recap on what happened yesterday, we were in the car on the way to the town where the ferry is taking off from, but that road has been closed. We technically made it to where the ferry departs from, but the one road that goes to the ferry port was closed. We had to get a propeller plane back to Reykjavik, the capital, and then from Reykjavik we got another flight over to Denmark, which is how we're here, which is technically a rule break.
No planes allowed.
But we made up the rules, so we're allowed to break them because the other option was to wait a week to get the ferry, and we don't have the time to do that. So from here, the plan is we will be catching a train from Copenhagen into Germany. We'll just see what happens. We're on the first train and it is very busy. There was a slight delay on the last train, so we've got 15 minutes now to make the connection. And there are no departure boards in this train station. We also didn't come prepared, so we've not got any food, and I don't think we're going to be able to make a snack stop. We learned that we have to make seat reservations for the trains, and we didn't do that on the last one, but we just got lucky and managed to get a seat even though the train was super full. So I booked seat reservations on this train. It's only 2 hours and then we're in Berlin and we're going to stay there for the evening.
The woman did say that all of Scandinavia has to come through Hamburg to get into Central Europe.
Yeah.
So that's why it's a really busy route.
We have arrived, we are here in Berlin.
Country number 3 on the tick list. It feels good, it's been a long travel day. 5-hour train followed by a 2-hour train. The second train was better than the first train. We're gonna go and find our accommodation now. It's been a city that I've wanted to come to for ages. Steeped in history. We've got about 3/4 of a day here. We've got to pack it in. Checkpoint Charlie, the Berlin Wall, Bergheim. We're gonna see it all.
Good morning, we are here in Berlin. We've got half a day here before we catch our next train. For now, we're just enjoying Berlin. And that's what this is all about, taking in different places instead of flying over them. It is actually the Berlin half marathon today, so there's a pretty good atmosphere.
There are a few things I would like to tick off. I would love to have a stein of beer. I would love to have a currywurst. And also I want to learn about the history of Berlin. So we're here at the Topography of Terror, which is a free museum, and we're going to learn about German history.
We're currently searching for a currywurst. How's it going?
Not well.
We've not found one yet. You can't come to Berlin and not have one.
The clock is ticking.
We are heading now back to the train station to make our way out of Berlin and into Munich. Berlin, you have been glorious.
I'm looking forward to a stein in Bavaria. Get me to Munich.
Let's go.
4 minutes past 4.
4:04? Yeah.
Thank you.
We're on the train. It's arrived a little bit early, but our seats are in a room.
This is so sick.
So cool. I wish they had these at home. Like, they're so good. It's basically a small room. It sits 6 passengers. There's storage, tables, comfy seats, chargers at every seat. The UK, you need to sort your train game out.
Things are not going to plan.
We got up early this morning because our plan was to head straight to Italy.
But we didn't anticipate that it is currently a German holiday. So it's their half term, I think. So all the kids are off school. A lot of German people go down into Italy and they go to the Vatican over Easter, which has meant that all of the trains are basically fully booked.
And we're really struggling online to reserve seats for this train to Italy. There's a ticket office, there's quite a big queue. We're going to go there now and hopefully sort out some seats for a train today. It is so busy in there. They're saying they're all booked. So that isn't great because we do need to keep moving forward.
To add to our concerns, it is now snowing in Munich. Snow has been the kryptonite of this trip so far. Hopefully it doesn't get any stronger. I thought I'd left this kind of weather back in Iceland, but it's following us on the journey.
Good news, the ticket office has managed to sort us out with 2 seats on a train leaving today. It's leaving at 3:30 instead of 7:30 this morning, which we had hoped for. But that means we have a good few hours now to explore Munich and see what there is to do. I've heard there's a football team in Munich. Is that true?
A lot of people say I look like Thomas Müller. I don't see the resemblance personally. I'm far better looking.
Not really sure what there is to do in Munich. We have done no research.
Munich is quiet outside because everybody is in here. Beer and sausages, that's why you come to Munich.
It is Interrail tip time. Tip number 1, make sure that you reserve a seat. Just because you have the journey in your app doesn't mean that you're guaranteed a seat. It's usually only 5 or 10 euros, but if you're going on a 4 or 5 hour train, you definitely want to make sure that you have a seat.
Tip number 2, bring train snacks. European trains, even if you're in first class, don't give you free food. Although there are restaurants, so you could buy it, but it is expensive.
Tip number 3, we are travelling with a global Interrail pass. It lasts for a month from the day that you activate it, and it gives you 7 days worth of travel. So you could get as many trains as you want on one day of travel, and the 7 days don't have to be consecutive. The perk so far has been that as soon as you arrive in a new city, you're there in the middle of it and you can just walk to your hotel and get out exploring. How was this train ride?
The train's been pretty good. It was a bit cramped in here at one point, but now we've got the whole thing to ourselves and it's ciao bella.
You feeling ready for Italy?
Ciao, ciao bella.
Do you know any more Italian?
Grazie, ciao, ciao ciao. Welcome to Italy. We've just departed the train. Germany to Italy completed. The temperature's different, it feels nice.
This is the first stop that we've been to which isn't a major city.
I've never heard of Trento in my life.
But already it has quite a nice feel to it, so I am very excited to explore more of this place.
This is actually so sick. What even is that? A massive church.
We have made it to Italy. This is country number 4. We arrived last night. We're in a place called Trento. It's quite a small Italian town. I'd never heard of it before, but as soon as we arrived, it just had a really good feel to it. This place feels really manageable. Some of the bigger cities that we've been to are so big, it feels overwhelming to try and explore it in the time frame that we do.
One of the things I was looking forward to about interrailing is getting off the beaten track and finding places that you'd never heard of before. And up until this point, we've been in quite big cities, Munich, Berlin. This is the first stop on our trip where I didn't know what it was going to be like. I'd never heard of it before. It is really exceeding my expectations. First of all, the weather is amazing. We're right at the beginning of April and it's about 14 degrees. And the other thing is that this place is so cheap. In comparison to Copenhagen and in comparison to Iceland, we're getting coffees here for like €1.50. We had breakfast for €7 each. Architecturally, this place is absolutely beautiful. Really old buildings, this huge church, and this is why you come interrailing, to find little places like this.
The best thing about Italy so far, get free crisps for your drinks.
What? That's not the best thing. This is the best thing. The national drink of Italy, the Aperol Spritz.
Trento is great. This is a hidden gem.
Phenomenal.
So we've spent the morning just wandering around. We're just sat in a square right now, soaking up the sun before we get on our next train.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Until when? When can we go?
It's not possible. Even Saturday, nothing.
How would you get from Napoli to Sicily? It's not possible.
Makes no sense.
We need to find a way that we can get this train into Sicily because we do not have time to wait 4 days. So we're going to go and find a coffee shop and try ourselves to book onto any train going anywhere in southern Italy.
She took a midnight train going anywhere.
This is our first time interrailing in Europe. If you have been interrailing before, is this normal? Do the trains get booked up? So the trains are looking really complicated. We can definitely get there by train, it's just a couple of changes.
So far, I've really enjoyed my time in Italy, but I've just been brought crashing back down to earth with some bad news. We're about to board a train, about a 5.5 hour train, which is good. However, that's as far south as trains will take us because over the Easter period, which we're going into, every Italian train from Napoli going south is completely sold out and we can't get on another train for the next 4 days. Basically, we're stuck in Napoli and there's no further we can go. If we have to start getting on buses, they are not fast enough vehicles for us to complete our challenge in 10 days. Trains are really the only mode of transport that work for us, so at the moment it's looking bleak.
One eternity later.
5.5 hours completed. We're here in Naples, Napoli. I think this is as far as the train is going to take us on this trip, but it's been nice knowing you.